Even as a little kid of 7, I knew about my past life. I would have vivid dreams about it, even though I was too young to know what they meant. My parents raised me as a Christian, so going to them about this type of thing wasn't going to produce an answer that would satisfy me. I made it my life's hobby to research past lives. I also vowed to keep it to myself, as nobody would understand at best. The straitjacket would come at worst. I had my dreams about the past that always felt more real than the other mundane dreams. I was a soldier with a secret. The border town we laid siege upon was a place I once called home. I had a wife and daughter in there, of which their discovery would lead to my execution as well as their torture. In the final battle, I found them in the chaos. It was during our brief reunion that my captain came upon us. Knowing the agony and horrific acts that would befall my family if I didn't act quickly, I raised my sword and struck both of them down. I was commended for my actions by the captain, and our forces proceeded to eliminate the entire population of the town. Genocide, with tear-filled eyes at its finest. Their faces haunted me for countless years. Fast forward many years from my childhood. I had gotten married to a wonderful woman who had an open mind to these types of ideas. However, I hadn't thought of how to share my knowledge with her. That is when we found the old Ouija board. I must have bought it years before, but had no recollection of doing so. My wife became very interested in it, and of course wanted to try it out. I told her that there was prep work to be done, candles and such, and we would do it at midnight for best results. With the candles lit around us, we both touched the planchette on the board in front of us. And then, nothing. Not a single peep. "Isn't it supposed to start moving?" my wife questioned. I told her that maybe we weren't concentrating hard enough and for us to close our eyes and think mystical type thoughts. That brought a chuckle, but she did as told. I closed my eyes and did the same when I all of a sudden got a vision that I hadn't seen for many years. Tears started welling in my eyes when the planchette on the board started to move. I quickly choked back the welling as I opened my eyes and watched the window in the planchette spell out a single word. My name, my past name. My wife quickly got excited in feeling the planchette move across the Ouija board for the first time. Then puzzlement crossed her face. "Thurin, what does that mean?" In my shock, I said nothing. My face must have told a story. "Because you know what it is, don't you?" were the next words I heard. I then told her that it was my name in a past life, but I hadn't told anybody about that, including her. "Oh, maybe this person knew you back then? We have to find out." Our fingers graced the planchette a second time. 5, job not done. 5, here 5, you find again 29D. And that was it. We tried again to get more, but there was no movement to be had from it. My wife asked, "Well, what does that mean?" "The only thing I can figure out is 29, and that's how old we will be next year. But the rest? What job? Find who? This doesn't make any sense." I had no answers for her. I had my own questions, but I needed time to ponder upon the meaning of it all. And what was the vision I had right before all of this happened? I wanted to go to bed, where I did my best thinking. However, my wife was wide awake at that point and said she would have to do something in order to be sleepy. We made love, which seemed to accomplish more goals than were intended. We tried the Ouija board the next night, but nothing would move. The next night produced the same results. Maybe we broke it? I told her that the reason it was in a long-forgotten box in the first place was because it never had worked for me in the past. I figured it was a piece of junk, but hated to throw away something I had paid good money to buy. So back in the box it went, and we went on with our normal lives. We had tried a while later, but still the thing would not move for us. What the sickness in the morning might not have told us, the pregnancy test had confirmed. We were going to have our first child. We were very excited, and she immediately went shopping to prepare for the day. In the back of my mind, though, I did the math. Our child was conceived on that day the Ouija board came to life. You don't suppose? Nah, probably just a fluke. Everything will be just fine. And it was. The pregnancy went along without a hitch, and then the day came when we had to rush to the hospital for the day. After my daughter was cleaned up from her emerging into this world, I was given my new bundle to hold for the first time. That was when the realization hit me like a truck. I knew who the face was in my vision. I knew what the message from that night of the Ouija board meant. I immediately knew what job was left unfinished and why it was of such vital importance. I looked into my daughter's eyes, the same eyes of the 5-year-old daughter I had lost so long ago. Daddy,